Well, hello there and welcome to this Transformation.ai Hubspot integration tutorial video. My name is Greg Marlin. I'm the founder and CEO of Transformation.ai. That's me up here, my picture, and me down here in the video. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over to the left. We're going to click on this little icon here. It opens up the navigation on the left. We're going to scroll down to the integration management, and we're going to click on the Hubspot tab. Now what goes in here is your Hub ID. So if you look up in Hubspot, in the top right, you can see the Hub ID, which is 3030912 for me. So here it is, 3030912. That's what goes in here. Now you'll see some scopes here. Typically, if you're an enterprise client of HubSpot, you're going to click all of these. But there's some accounts that are restricted, and in this case I'm using a demo portal which is restricted. So I'm going to remove these scopes and I'm going to hit update token or get token if this was a new one, and it will just, if you're logged in correctly, it will just go through a little bit of a refresh and it will load your integration just like that. Now if you were logged into multiple HubSpot accounts, you'd have a screen to actually log in and then choose the corresponding Hub ID that you had selected here, and then it'll go through that same routine and you'll end up back here. And now what you'll have is it'll pull in a whole bunch of assets that were in your HubSpot account. For instance, you have web pages. So here I've already made this one a touch point. That's why it's got a check mark. But I'm going to go ahead and do another one here. So this is a contact us page. Again, it's just coming from a demo portal. And rather than have to go through and map and create touch points for every one of the things, pages, emails, etc. that I might have in HubSpot, I can just come through here and literally generate a touch point. I can change the description and say, this is our contact us page. I can select customer journey stage. I can connect it to touch points, but I'm just going to create that here. And that's it's simple as that. So the next thing we can do is we can actually go to the touchpoint inventory, and now you can see the ones that we created are here. Now they don't have icons yet. That's why they have a question mark. We can go ahead and change things. We can make connections. So for About Us, why don't I say that it's connected to the home page? So that pops up and I can create that connection. Now that's available globally in our touchpoint inventory. We can make changes locally as we drag these out onto actual customer journey maps, but we've made that change globally. And let me make a change here to the icon. So I just click on that and I go to icons and I got this nice little About Us icon. I just hit upload and update. And just like that, you can see that it's updated here on the left. But that's not the main thing we want to do with an integration with HubSpot. We want to get working with maps and we want to create feedback loops. So I'm going to come to my map library here on the left. And I'm going to select a map. Let's try our contract signing map. Contract signing to kick off. So now when we're in here at the contract signing to post kickoff journey, I've got all these different touch points and they're linked up. And the one I want to actually look at is the pre-kickoff prep email. So I'm going to click on this and it's going to open up the dialog. And because I've got a HubSpot integration, you can see that there's now a HubSpot tab within this touch point. I'm going to click on that. This is an email, so I'm going to integrate it with an email feedback loop. So I just click on emails. Now I select an email. I'm going to blur some of this stuff out, but I'm selecting a real email. And then I just hit continue. Now I can select the KPIs that I want. In the case of emails from HubSpot, I can choose delivered, open, clicked, or click-through rate, and I can actually set a target for each. So I'm just going to select some random targets. Okay, and I'm going to then hit save. Now it's saved that, and I can go back and look at that, and it's going to take me to a feedback loop. Now in the feedback loop, it's showing for this particular email for a time period, I've got this number of delivered, 45 against my target of 10, 24 against my target of 8, 21 against my target of 7, and amazingly I've got an 87.5% click-through rate, whereas my target was only 3. But let's say we decide, well, we want to actually have a 99% click-through rate. And you can see it live updates as I change that. So now we need to discuss amongst the team how we're going to achieve that 99% click-through rate. And so I can come in here and I can have a conversation. So I'll talk to my team and say, why don't we try having a different colored hyperlink to match our branding. Okay, let's try that. So now that comes in here, and we can then have a conversation, and then when we agree on something, we'll actually make a change in real life. So we'll go into HubSpot and we'll make that change in HubSpot, and we want to record that here so we can remember what we did. So we're going to record a version history of this particular touch point here. Say we changed the color of the hyperlink to match our branding, and maybe we would insert a hexadecimal code, FFF. It's probably not right, but that's the kind of thing that you could change. So now when you hit save on that, the date is recorded, who made that change, and what the description of that change is. And this is very helpful as over time you iterate and make changes, and then come back, see the feedback loops that come through HubSpot, make further changes until you finally get to your goal. And then much later you may have forgotten what you did, but you can just come back here and see that in your version history. So that's basically how the main integration with HubSpot works. So you create your integration, you can link touch points. At the touch point level within a map, you can then pull in specific touch point or HubSpot data into what are called feedback loops, make changes, see how those changes affect the feedback loop, and iterate to get to your goal. So now when you've made those changes, you'll have that saved within this map. You can save your map accordingly. Sometimes when we create these feedback loops, you actually don't want to have to go to the specific map to see the feedback loop. So you can actually navigate here to the feedback loop list, and now you see that I've created this feedback loop. It's an email feedback loop related to KPI and data. I actually click here and I can see the same data here, and it shows me what channel it's coming through. It's coming through HubSpot. You can also, by the way, come through here and check out your timeline, and that will show you the version history. So if you want to see what's going on throughout your system in terms of version history, you can see that as well. So that's it for the integration between Transformation.ai and HubSpot. We look forward to seeing all the great work that you do with the integration.